Hi, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Christine and I like to read dark and disturbing things. Today I have for you my November TBR, or more accurately, pile of possibilities. Let's check it out. Okay, so I am very much a mood reader, and if I feel like I have to read something, I do not want to read it. Like, it just feels like an assignment that I don't want to do. I don't like to be told what to do, okay? And November is my birthday month, so I feel like I should be able to do whatever the F I want. I mean, I feel that way all the time. But really, November is kind of a big month for me because it's my son. I have my son's birthday, my birthday, we have Thanksgiving, you know, all the things. So I don't want to put any pressure on myself to read anything I don't want to. But I did pull, you know, I get excited. I get excited to want to read stuff, especially things that have been on my shelf. I just started pulling things off, and I'm just going to talk about them today. First, I will talk about a couple of book clubs that I may or may not get to, depending on if I just feel like it. The first one is Amy Noel's Dark Hearts Book Club. Her book is called Darker Than Night by Owl Going Back. And I'm going to go into this completely blind. It is on Scribd, so I thought it would be good just to have that loaded up onto my phone so I could listen to it whenever I'm doing stuff, and that hopefully, I'm not the best auditory. I'm not great at listening to stuff. So hopefully it is digestible enough for me to listen to and get the full effect of. The next one is Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. Her book pick for the month is Corpse Mouth, which is 10 short stories. And when I looked at it, it just said cosmic horror. This is also on Scribd, so I can listen to this as I do things. So both of these I'm going into relatively blind. I don't really want to know a whole lot before I go into them. Short stories don't have the best, we don't have the best relationship, me and short stories. So we'll see how that goes. But I figure I could listen to one and then do something else and then listen to another, try to break it up throughout the month. And last but not least, there is a Crypted Readathon hosted by Crystal over at Fiber Artsy, Jason's Weird Reads, and Sin's Book Nook. And I have not read, I don't know a lot about cryptids. I read Below by Laurel Hightower, absolutely loved it last year. And at some point I picked up this, Dear Mothman, which I believe is a middle grade. Oh, this is so cool. They made it look like the pages are torn. I like that. I'm not going to read all the synopsis for everything, but I just saw this. It says, halfway through 6th grade, Noah's best friend and the only other trans boy in his school, Lewis, passes away in a car accident. Feeling lost and alone, Noah starts writing letters to Mothman, Lewis's favorite cryptid, wondering if he would understand how Noah feels. I won't read the whole thing, but so I feel like I identify more with middle grade than I do YA. Like, it just jumps from middle grade to adult for me, and it looks, I think this is so cute. Him writing letters to Mothman. It looks like it's a lot of poetry and just letters, probably dealing with loss and being trans, the only trans person at his school. So I am excited to check this one out for the Cryptid Readathon. I'm probably also going to try to get into some cryptid smut, because why not? And because Crystal's a bad influence. I just think if I'm going to read smut, I might as well read something that's hilarious. So I'm going to try that. While I was shopping my shelves, there is a book that I have been wanting to read since it came out. I felt the need to go buy it, but I've not picked it up. And sometimes I'm weird about this because I'm like, I think this book is going to be amazing, but I want it to live up to the hype, or I want to savor the fact that I'm going to read this book that I think I'm going to love, which is freaking weird. I did it with Slewfoot. I did it with Don't Fear the Reaper. I don't know. It's like savoring the moment and just knowing that it's there waiting for me. And that is Mary by Nat Cassidy. Every single person I've talked to says to read this book, that they love it. So I'm going to make that a priority this month. I also got a Once Upon a Book Club book box. I got two for Halloween. I got a sweet box and a spooky box. And this was in the sweet box. And I thought this might be a light, fun read. I think this might be kind of rom-com-y, which is not my thing, but it has vampires. And I'll be getting to open stuff as I read through. So I don't know anything else about it other than this cover here. And that's all I need to know. I also have a couple of ARCs that were sent to me. I think I mentioned these before, but I didn't get to them this month. And one was The Final Women. And I love the cover of this. And the other one is They Are Cursed Like You. Also love the rabbits at the bottom. I am pretty sure I did talk about these, so I won't go too far into detail, but I will let you know once I read them. And this is a book, I think I got this from an Abominable Book Club box a while back, and everyone says it's amazing. Again, why haven't I read it? I just know it's there. It's the comfort of knowing it's there whenever I want to get to it. But I really like to get to The Watchers. You know, all of these I'm going into not knowing a whole heck of a lot. And that's the way I like it, because I don't like to build something up in my head and it doesn't live up to the hype that I've built up for it. Another one that I've been wanting to get to, I don't love this copy of it because I've seen gorgeous copies of this book, but I got this as a mystery book in Abominable Book Club, and it's The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. And several of you told me that this book is amazing, and so is the movie. So I'd like to read this and watch the movie. This is like obviously the movie edition with Harry Potter. And I also thought it would be fun to read maybe some cozy fall books. And I can't think of the name, but there's like some pumpkin spice mystery type books out there. I also had this book on my shelf I had picked up like randomly called What a Ghoul Wants. Again, this might be more on the romantic side, I'm not sure, but it seems kind of like a cozy mystery. We'll see if cozy is my thing. I also thought I should probably get some of my books off of my list. My 23 to read in 2023 is freaking dismal. Like why did I put books on there? Like I did not follow it, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. It's making me wonder if I should even do a 24 and 24. Look, the number is getting higher and I'm not doing well. But this was on my TBR for October. I didn't think I would get to it, quite honestly, and I did even mention then that I would carry it over, and that is The Change by Kirsten Miller. This is, I believe, like a modern day witch book, and I wanted to read more witchy books than I did in October, so I would like to get to this one. This was also on my list for 23 and 23, and I've heard good things about it. Another book that I was like dying to get my hands on when this came out, and then did I even read it? No. I think I didn't hear like great reviews about this. I think most people thought it was just kind of okay, and that is The Book Eaters. I have an edition that is gorgeous, and it has to do with, I believe, people eating the knowledge out of books. That's all I know, and it looks kind of dark and it looks kind of cool. Hopefully I get to it. So I was trying to get to some fantasy books because I have not been keeping up on my fantasy at all. Honestly, I think what happened was when I first kind of found BookTube, I found a lot of channels that talked about fantasy because there's a lot of fantasy readers out there. And I feel like I didn't really know what I was into. I knew I liked reading Stephen King and darker stuff like that, Game of Thrones, that kind of thing, but I did not realize there was so much horror out there when I first started. So I have ended up with a lot of fantasy books, or thinking that I was a fantasy reader when maybe I wasn't. So I do have quite a few fantasy books that I do have interest in. I just never pick them up. I feel like I'm more intimidated by that than horror, because horror is like, it's a quick ride, like it's quick. It's a standalone usually, whereas a lot of fantasy ends up being more of a commitment or a series. So one that I got quite a while ago was The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. It's a really gorgeous book. This actually might be more of a romantic fantasy, if anything. Maybe this isn't even fantasy. I don't remember. This one definitely is. This is TJ Klune's In the Lives of Puppets. I believe it is a loose like Pinocchio retelling. TJ Klune, I've read 2 books. I read The House in the Cerulean Sea, which I absolutely loved, gave it 5 stars. And then I read another book that I did not like actively disliked. Did you hear my stomach, girl? I think it was called Under the Whispering Door. I've already unhauled it. I think I gave it 2 stars. I was so disappointed. So this is my chance to see where this lies. And this is another stunning special edition. I actually saw that there's going to be a sequel to The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm not sure how I feel about that. To me, that book is just perfect the way it is. So I'm always scared that a sequel will taint like that memory for me of that book, or it could be amazing. But this one sounds pretty interesting. So I hope to get to this one. And last but not least, this is a book that was on my 2022 TBR. Never got to it. It's on my 23 to read in 2023. It's because it's a trilogy and it's The Poppy War. So I'm not a huge fantasy reader, but I do love kick-ass women. And I'm pretty sure that's what we have in this book. We will see. I'm scared. I think I'm just scared that I won't like it. And then I've got the whole trilogy. So this will be an experiment. But like I said, I want November to be completely just mood reads of whatever I feel like reading in the moment. I don't want to feel obligated to do anything this month. So maybe I'll read all of these. Maybe I won't read any of these. Why did you make a TBR video? I don't know. I think the one that, if I have to say there's one that I'm going to read right away, I believe it's going to be Mary by Nat Cassidy, because I've been holding on to it forever. I don't need to keep dragging this out. If there's something I mentioned today that you're like, Christine, you need to get to that like ASAP, let me know, and it might move its way on up in my heart, my TBR in my heart. Comment down below what book you're most excited to get to in November, and let me know if you're participating in any of those book clubs, or if you're going to be doing the Crypted Readathon. If you have any good suggestions for a cryptid book, also let me know. All right, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you guys are having an amazing week, and stay spooky.